I couldn't wait any longer. I needed to make this video today. I just received one of them today actually, and that's camera A, and I'll have camera B. Can you spot the difference between them? When it comes to color science, they are quite different. One of them is a little bit more contrasty and a little bit darker, and one of them looks way brighter. When it comes to design, they are both really tiny, but they have a little bit different design. One of them has a magnetic modular design where you stack the camera, and the other one you put the camera pod in the housing. I do lean towards one of them a little bit just because of the design. It's easier to frame yourself much quicker. But can you spot the difference? The settings is exactly the same in 4K 25, wide field of view. White balance is the only thing I set. Just to make it equal. Sharpness is set to default, and the rest is default setting. So which of them do you think it is? Camera A, what is that? And camera B, what is that? I'm gonna make different clips today. It's late in the evening, so it's not perfect conditions, but I should deliver pretty good results. It's gonna be fun to review the footage of the new one. And it's cool to see that that brand is making tiny action camera, and that's something I do prefer. I do like tiny action cameras, especially for the kind of things I do out in the forest, hiking, running. It's so much easier to mount them. I've seen a bunch of videos, of course, with the new one. The other one I know a little bit of, but still have a lot to cover. But it's so fun to see how much these companies has developed over time, and packing so much hardware and specs into these tiny little things is just impressive. So can you spot the difference? It's getting late now, but I do think it's all right. I'm gonna test the low light of these two cameras also, because both of them actually has a low light setting, which is useful for me, especially living in Norway, where the conditions can be pretty harsh. Both of them are waterproof, but only the camera pod. They are both splash proofed when you're using the housing, so it should be okay with a little drizzle, but not more than that. But is it easy to spot the difference? I'm not going to reveal it quite yet. I want you to tell me which of them you prefer, camera A or camera B. But you can probably spot it. It should be quite easy, actually. When it comes to the specs, for some people that's important, of course. And one of them has an advantage in many ways, and that's actually a flat color profile for people that enjoy color grading. And it has 10-bit. That's also important for a lot of people when it comes to heavy grading. But for most people, the most important thing is the best image quality straight out of camera. And that's why I think one of them is a little bit better than the other one, but that's my preference. But is it easy to spot? It should be. So let's make some more clips and test some other stuff. But I'm gonna make a bunch of videos with these two cameras because I think it's gonna be really good and really nice. And I do think people will love these cameras from both of the brands. So let's walk a little bit further and test something else. So it's time to reveal what camera A is. It's of course the new DJI Osmo Nano, and we have the Insta360 GO Ultra. I'm using a color preset on the GO Ultra now, which I actually do like. It's glow. It's possible to grade a little bit, and of course we have D-Log 10-bit on the DJI Osmo Nano, which also is a fantastic profile to grade, and it's not that difficult. You do actually have LUTs you can use, official LUTs, which is pretty easy to add and do some tweaking. But I'm going to try to match these two, and then you can tell me which of them there is. And a little bit later today I'm going to do a low light test with the Osmo Nano and the GO Ultra. And what I've seen so far it seems like the Go Ultra has a little edge, a little bit better in low light than the Osmo Nano, but not by much at all. But it's so cool to see that we have actually low light modes on these cameras, because for people like me especially, it's extremely important. But what do you think? I have to be a little bit careful here, it's slippery. And this was the only time I could do this today. It's late in the evening and it's gonna rain later today. But tomorrow it seems to be okay, but then it's gonna rain for a week again. So I'm walking under some trees now. And what do you think about the details? It is in low light now, so it should be okay. And what do you think about the glow profile on the Go Ultra on camera B? Actually a profile I do like. It needs a little bit of work. I do recommend to do that because you get that glowing effect, which can look a little bit strange, but it's a lower contrast image, so it's possible to add some colors and pop to it to make it even better. The Osmo Nano is brand new for me, and I've seen a lot of tests with it. I don't like the modular design on it, because every time you're going to do some vlogging, selfie, you need to rotate the camera module, and it's a little bit of work. I do like the flip-up screen on the Go Ultra. It's so much easier and quicker to frame something and start shooting. So you have to stop and turn the module. It's a little bit annoying actually. But I'm gonna do a low light test, as I said. But I still have a bunch of tests to do with these two cameras. And I'm gonna wait a little bit till the sun gets down. And then we're gonna test them and see. In low light, neither of these cameras is perfect at all. It's softened off the skin and using some AI chip and stuff like that, so it looks a little bit fake, but it actually do work. Of course you can use the Osmo Nano in D-Log and grade it and get pretty good results, but it isn't a low light mode, but it's possible. But what do you think? I just needed to do this today, a quick video, just to see how it is, the details and colors and all of that. So let's find a spot and do a little low light test, and I'll see you in a bit. So it's time to do a little low light test with the DJI Nano and the Go Ultra. The sun is set and it's pretty dark outside, so which of the camera performs the best image quality and cleanest image quality, that's also super important. The Go Ultra seems a lot brighter than the DJI Nano, but both of them has a dedicated low light mode. And how does it look? I have a light source behind me here. Look at that. Which of them has the best colors when it comes to the light source? The light source seems quite yellow, and white balance is set to auto. So what do you think? This is just going to be a quick low light test. I'm going to do a much deeper dive in the low light settings and using these cameras out on a run and see how good the overall stabilization is in low light. But that small cameras like this can deliver good image quality in low light is extremely important for me, especially living in Norway, where the conditions can be pretty tough. So what do you think? So this is just my first initial test, not a deep dive at all, full auto, just to see how it looks. But on the screen, like I said, on the Go Ultra, it's way brighter than the Go Ultra, the DJI Nano. So what do you think? Does it look good? Does it look realistic? How is my skin tones? Do it look way too smooth? That's typical for cameras in conditions like this, because it's working hard to produce the overall best image quality. Standing under my terrace, way darker here, but it's so much brighter on the Go Ultra, but also look clean On a DJI Nano it's way too dark. Let me turn around like this. I have a little light source behind the cameras, but still it looks dark on the DJI Nano. Let me walk out from my terrace. How does that look? Still darker on the DJI Nano, but the most important thing often is to get a clean image. So what do you think? This was just a quick test. So give me a thumb up and subscribe, and if there are anything you want to see, please let me know. I'm going to do a lot of testing with these two cameras and see which of them is the best, and the best to keep and the best for you to buy. That's also important, so you can see reviews like this side by side without too much tweaking, just straight out of the camera to give you good image quality. That's important for me. So as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.